Hi, this is Joanna from Online Learning, and this is the new faculty orientation to D2L. In this video, we're going to go over accessing D2L, navigating the main D2L landing page, navigating your course, the difference between classic content and new content, and we're also going to go over where all the setup tutorials are located in the Faculty Resource Center. So let's start off with logging into D2L. To log into D2L, navigate to prairiestate.edu and click on Desire to Learn in the right corner. If you've already logged into your Gmail account in your browser for Prairie State, you'll automatically be logged into D2L. Otherwise, it will prompt you to log in. You'll use your Prairie State credentials and you'll be taken to this main landing screen. So let's go over some of the features in navigating the main D2L landing page. When you arrive at the home page for D2L, the very top, you have the My Home button. This will always take you back to this very landing page. You can know that you're here because it says Prairie State College right there. Then you have what is called the waffle. And if you click on this, you can access a number of your courses. It'll pop up and it's an easy way to search or navigate to another course. This is a message alert. You may see, if you have any notifications to read, you'll have an orange dot, as you can see here on the update alerts. And then this is a subscription alert for discussion boards. So if you ever have anything to check within any of your courses, you'll see a little orange dot next to those particular icons. And if you click on your profile, you'll be able to set some of your notification preferences and other options. Clicking on the gear icon will take you to what is called the media library. And if you use that particular area to store some videos or upload videos, that's a really easy way to navigate there as well. The next bar is the navigational bar, and this provides easy access to different links within Prairie State. The navigational bar, once you are in your course's homepage, is a little bit different. Underneath the Prairie State image of campus, you'll see what's called a My Courses widget. At the very top of that widget, you will see different semesters listed. You will only see semesters that you have courses in at that particular time. So you can click on a particular semester to navigate to a particular course shell. So if you are teaching, for example, just in the summer, you would click on that particular semester and it will populate with just those semesters shells. On the right-hand side, you'll see you have access to a number of resources. The very top one is Tips and Tricks for Students. This is a great resource for you as a faculty member to be able to access some different tutorials for your students on submitting homework and navigating discussion boards, etc. So if your students are having trouble, this is a great resource for you to go in and grab some links because they all have access to that content. There's also a link to the Writing Center and the library on that homepage as well. These are common buttons for the students. They can also access that. And then you are also enrolled in the Faculty Resource Center, which we will cover later. We also have a work to do and calendar widget on that very first landing page, but that is more student-facing than anything else. So let's go ahead and hop into a particular course, and I will show you what that looks like. This section of the video is going to go over how to navigate your course. To enter your course, you just click on the thumbnail for your course. Then you're taken to a blank shell. When you first log in, you're going to have the default homepage. You will be able to make adjustments to this homepage if you would like. There are tutorials on that as well. We'll go over the tutorials all at the end of this video. The first thing you should notice is, again, you can go back to the home and you know where you are because it says the name of the course right there. The waffle icon and all the notification icons remain the same. The difference is your navigational bar. The course home button will take you to this landing page, your home page, which your students will see when they first arrive in your course. Content will take you to the units or modules within your course. Assignments will take you to assignment folders where students will turn in work. Discussions will take you to discussion board tool. Quizzes will take you to the quiz tool. Grades will allow you to set up your gradebook and enter grades and view student grades. Class list and email will allow you to view all of the students that are in your course and to email the students from your course. The utilities menu allows you to access things like announcements, awards, blog, class progress, which is a tool for tracking student activity within your course. A locker, which is a file storage system that most faculty and students no longer use now that we are integrated with Google Drive. Panorama is also available here, and this is how you can check the accessibility of your course. Portfolio is another tool that you might be using. Self-assessments allows students to self-assess themselves on a particular skill without it going into the gradebook. Surveys. Course admin gives you access to the attendance tool. I should note that the attendance tool does not tie to the gradebook, but it is a way to record activity in your course and whether or not students are showing up. You can set up a seating chart, etc. Edit course takes you to a larger menu, which I will show you in just a moment. Intelligent agents are ways to automate different communication within your course. Manage files is your file storage system. It functions very similar to the file storage system on your desktop where there are folders and you can move content around. Quick Eval is a great tool for instructors to use to view what items they have to grade and which items they have graded and which items they have published grades for, because you can also grade in draft mode. There is a quiz question import tool, and this link gives you access to your course's Prairie portal page so that you can enter grades at the end of term and your 10-day attendance. If you click on the More button, that will give you access to Brightspace Help. So if we go in here to the Edit Course option, you see you have a lot of options available to you about your site setup, resources that you can access, what you can do with groups and your students in your course, things like awards and rubrics, and you can manage all of these tools straight from this particular page. One of the most common tools to be used, especially early in the semester, is the Import-Export Copy Components link. This will allow you to import course templates if that's something that you would like to do. One decision you need to make about your course is whether or not you're going to use classic content or new content or lessons. I'm going to show you both examples of a course in both classic content and then new content and talk through some of the differences in the student experience so you can make a determination on what might be the best option for you. This class is set up in classic content, and as you can see on the left-hand side in the navigational pane, you have access to what is called a table of contents. This functions very much like a book. You can see you can bookmark different pages and you can read about course overviews. Those features are not available in new content, which I'm going to show you in a minute. However, you do have the same navigational pane on the left-hand side in new content. When students click on a particular module, the module items appear over here in the right-hand side. They can identify which module they are in because it is slightly grayed out, and there's a little arrow indent that will tell them where they're at. The numbers next to the items indicate how many things are in that particular module, and students can go ahead and click through and locate and read through the pages. When students click on the links within, they're taken to that particular item, and they can access it directly from there. There is no preview on this particular page. So now let's go ahead and look at the same course, but when it is formatted as new content or lessons. So now we're in the same class, but when it's laid out as new content. And as you can see on the left-hand side in the navigational pane, all of the areas that are clickable over there are organized by color. You can more clearly see where you are at because there's an outline around the entire box. These areas, instead of being called modules, are called units. And when learners or faculty click on them, they will expand and you navigate from this navigational pane over here as opposed to it showing up over here. Only when you click on an item does the preview appear over on the right-hand side. So this gives students a little bit more control over their navigational directions as they go through. Another difference about this is that if you link assignments within this particular course and you have students access them from here, so this is an assignment, they can preview the assignment right here without having to go to the assignment tool. They can also scroll down and you can, in this completion summary, access the grading for the students, but down here they can access where they would submit the assignment. So it kind of eliminates a few extra clicks from the student's perspective, and that can be helpful for them. So let's conclude this really short video on some tutorials in the Faculty Resource Center. Remember, from the main landing page, if you would like to go to the Faculty Resource Center, you just scroll down and click on D2L Faculty Resource Center. It takes you to the landing page and you click on content and you'll be able to access all of the tutorials. You can use the search function here at the top to look through different kinds of information. But there's a number of tutorials here in this module under important information, which links you to resources on campus like handbooks and checklists. And then before you design your course module has a number of planning activities that you can go through as you sit down to design your course if you haven't already been given a template or if you haven't yet designed it. The D2L course setup basics will go through a number of steps, and you can collapse and expand these steps as you progress through them by clicking the arrow buttons on the side. And it will go through how to upload templates, how to set up your gradebook, how to add modules and units and content. And I already went over the new content differences and the classic content differences. It will go over how to use the accessibility tools when I talked about Panorama very briefly, so you'll be able to go through those things as well. Then if you notice on the side, in addition to all of those steps, you can go through and look at other accessibility tools that you might find helpful, like Read Speaker is enabled in all of the courses, how you can use that to help out your students, how students can use Panorama themselves to access information. There's resources on communicating with students, how to frame your welcome message, how to use announcement tools. And then there are tips on the gradebook as well. So how do you use the different tools within the gradebook? How do you use Turnitin within the gradebook? And how do you access different parts of like bulk grading and feedback features? You can also find information about assessment. So monitoring student data in D2L, there's a lot of information in those pages as well. So some of this content you'll go in and you can click and expand some tutorials and information, and it'll tell you where to access the information. And then others are more step-by-step sorts of tools when you're going through the content area. So you also have D2L Beyond the Basics. So once you get a little bit more comfortable, you may want to do things like custom home pages and widgets, or if you need help with reordering or editing some of the modules or using some of the template options that we have. you can go ahead and kind of run through and do some of those things as well. How to go through and set up a quiz and a question library. And as I said, a number of these things are going to have screenshots and tutorials in them for you so that you see step by step what you need to do. So when it tells you how to edit the modules, it's step by step. There is a couple of screenshots in there so you can identify what you need to do to access that material. So let's do a quick overview of some of those faculty tools so you can see in real time how you use them. So I'm back in this empty course, and again, regardless of whether you have new content or you have classic content, you'll have the same navigational bar, and your menu options will still be the same even if they look a little different. In new content, you have more graphic menus when you go to insert material, and that's really the only difference. So if I'm in content and I wish to add a module, I go ahead and click over here, and I can say module 1. And when I hit enter, it populates. Now I can go ahead and add material to my module or my unit for my students. The new items I have are to upload materials, so I could put files up here. The option here to create a file is one of the most common options for you in your course design. And this allows you to create an HTML page. So this is a file page, like a website page. And you can use this to type in information or present links or link to other content for your students. When you're going to go create a file, it will ask you to enter a title for your page. You can choose to hide it already from users in the beginning. If you're working on something as a draft, that's a good idea. And this is just a rich text editor, so you can do a lot of things within this area. This button here will become very popular for you probably. It is the insert stuff icon, and this is how you access information from your computer. If you're using any textbook integrations, that's something that you'll probably use as well. And if you're going to use YouTube videos, you're probably going to want to do the enter embed code that you can grab from the YouTube video. This link icon accesses the quick links, and this is how you can add links to your course content. This course doesn't have any content to link to just yet, other than the module itself. So that'd be kind of weird, but you can click to access the information, and there would be items here, and then you would just click the box next to them to add it there. You can add links to assignments in here as well. You can add tables, you can change your font and color, and if you know any HTML, you can access the source code and write your own code. It's important as you're drafting to go ahead and click save pretty frequently, and then click save and close when you are all done creating your item. I'm going to go ahead and just click save and close so we have a placeholder. And then I'm going to go back and we're going to go ahead and make an assignment. D2L uses assignment folders, and this is where students will turn in their work. So a folder is one particular assignment. When you click on new folder, you're creating a new assignment. You give your assignment a title. And if you would like to include it in your gradebook, you can go ahead and add that at that point. Now, even though it says in gradebook here, you still have to click that field and then click edit or link to existing. And then you will add it to your particular gradebook. You can add a due date and due time if you would like. Your directions go in this field right here. You can add video of yourself in here as well if you go in to add stuff. You can add video from your media library or a video note that you would record live at that moment if you'd like to give some video instructions for your particular assignment. You can put images and YouTube videos, all of the same things you can do on Pages, you can do here as well. On the right-hand side, you're going to see 3 settings menus that are common to all of the tools in D2L, assignments, discussions, and quizzes, and that is availability, dates and conditions, submission and completion, and evaluation and feedback. When you expand them for availability dates and conditions, you can identify when you would like to be able to have students start submitting. This is helpful for you to choose if, for example, you don't want students to accidentally submit before you finish giving directions. Release conditions are a little bit different, where it's completely hidden until they satisfy a particular criteria. So if you want to require them to turn in a different assignment first or get a certain grade on a particular quiz before they have it released, that is something that you can do as well. Special access is how you will give a particular group of students or an individual special access to the assignments, and you may do that if you have a student that has accommodations from the Office of Accessibility. The submission and completion area is where you set particular settings for that assignment. You can change it to a group if you've already got groups formed. This course does not have groups formed, so we cannot do that. We can put it in a particular category. However, assignment categories are only, in this instance, about navigating and helping students find something from the assignment tool. So if you have a whole bunch of different kinds of assignments, it's not going to impact in any way, however, how it's calculated in the grade book. So there's two different kinds of categories. There are categories for assignments, and there are categories for things that are in the grade book. You can restrict file extensions as well. So if you want to make sure that it's a compatible file that you can view, you can go ahead and check files that can be previewed without conversion, or annotatable files if you're going to use the annotation tool within D2L. All of those are different kinds of options. And then evaluation and feedback. This is where you'll add a rubric if you're using one, and you can create that rubric at that time. If you're using any kind of learning objectives within your program, that information would be shared with you, and you can go ahead and do that as well. And again, you can save as you go along, and you can save and close. You can already note here that this assignment by default is hidden, and then so you'd need to make sure to publish it so that it would release to the students. So let's go ahead and look at the quizzes. To add a new quiz, we go ahead and click New Quiz. And just like in the assignment, you need to give it a title, and you can give some description information here as well. Set the due date, the availability. Now the difference here about timing, they have a timing and display. And so this is unique to the quizzes tool. And this has to do with how many questions are going to show at one particular time, and how you would like students to be able to navigate through the quiz, whether or not they can go back, for example, or whether or not every student has the exact same quiz or the questions are shuffled. So you can choose between a number of different options and a number of combinations in those options to get the settings that you really desire. You navigate to the questions area to add different types of questions. You can create sections of your test and question pools as well. And that's another advanced setting within quizzes that you may find really helpful. Another component unique to quizzes is the attempts and completion area. And this is going to allow you to say how many times students are going to be able to take the quiz. So if you're going to allow them to retake the quiz or not, you can enter that in there. Again, just like with assignments, the notation of having a category is just about organizing your quizzes. It is not tied to a category in the gradebook. The gradebook categorization is tied under this dropdown when you access that. Evaluation and feedback are your options for how students are going to be able to see their scores and what they're going to be able to see after they take their quiz. The default is that students are allowed to see what grade they got, but no questions. You can change this at any time to allow them to see the incorrect questions with correct answers, or all the questions and show the answers or don't show the answers. Many professors choose to not show the questions right away and then to click on this button to customize the result display and then add another view and have that start after the due date for the quiz, so that they will release the answers for review after everybody has already taken the quiz. Again, if you need any help at any point, please reach out to us in Online Learning. And that concludes our short overview of D2L and some of the tools we have to offer. Online Learning is here to help you, so if you need any assistance or have any questions or want to do something in your course and aren't quite sure how to start it, contact us at onlinelearning@prairiestate.edu or feel free to stop up by my office in 3216.